Hi, my name is Nicholas. Welcome to this week's Ian Practice. For props for today, I suggest having a bolster, a soft block, and a couple hard blocks. And we'll get started in a seated butterfly shape. So if you want to come up and sit off of your soft block, bring the soles of the feet together, the knees nice and open. So just using the bolster to lean the head into. So you can bring one end to the feet and maybe the other end to the forehead. And see what this feels like. If it feels really comfortable, keep it. If you'd rather something else, a different expression, then go for that. And then you can also use your hard blocks to support the knees a little bit. And sometimes just having something to rest into can allow the inner groin muscles to soften a little bit more. So take your time to find your version of this shape. Arms can rest wherever feel the most comfortable. Gently settle yourself in, start to notice the body. As you feel ready, gently start to unravel the spine a little bit. You can move your bolster off to one side. You can come up off of your other props as well. Maybe using the hands to guide the knees a little closer, and then take the feet nice and wide apart. Lean back on the hands and windshield wiper to release. If you're happy on your hands, you can stay here. You can also lower down onto the elbows. And then the next time the knees are down towards the right, take a brief pause here. You can prop up either knee as needed. And then lifting knees up and over to the opposite side. Awesome. And then bring the knees up to center, come back up if you're on the elbows, and swing the legs around, and we'll find a tabletop position, or rather come to a kneeling shape first just to bring your other props nearby. We're going to set up shoelace pose, also called cow face pose in Hatha. So for this one, have your blocks just beside you, come to your tabletop position, and then we'll cross one leg in front of the other. So you can step the left knee a little bit forward and then take the left foot over towards the right, bring the right knee behind it, and then the right foot over towards the left. And then you can make yourself a seat with your blocks, bring them somewhere between the ankles, and then slowly lower the hips down onto them. It might take a little adjusting just to find that sweet spot. And then I like to start off with two because I find sometimes one's not enough. But if this feels like too much and maybe you want to go a little deeper, then you can remove the extra one and see how that feels. And generally, as a guide, I would say that if both sides of the pelvis are touching either the floor or whatever prop you're using, then that should be fine. And then this shape doesn't work for everybody as well. So if you want to extend the bottom leg towards straight, that's a way to soften it a little bit. Another option, sometimes the knees are quite separated, and if you have a soft block, you can just slide that in between, and then that can help the shape feel a little more grounded as well. So check in here, make sure it feels like a pain-free expression. If there is any pinching, especially in the knees, ankles, hips, anything like that, then gently back out. Lengthening the spine, softening the shoulders, and anything you don't need here. We're halfway through the shape, so if you're happy where you are, then you're welcome to stay. Otherwise, I'll invite you to explore folding over the legs. Now, only do this if everything feels really quiet, and you might have your bolster nearby as well. So you might take one end of the bolster forward and then maybe bring the chest down onto it. You can use it any other way you like as well. So maybe bringing the bolster down onto the mat and maybe you're lowering elbows. Again, if you want to support the head as well and you have a free block left, maybe you're stacking that as well. And take your time to find your pain-free expression and settle in here. And if you're folded, then gently walk yourself back up. Moving your props out of the way, you can help the left leg off, and then you can help the right leg out. If you're on a prop, you can come off of it and give yourself a windshield wiper side to side to release. And see if there's any extra stretch that the body's asking for. And And then when you're ready, we'll come back to tabletop and we'll set up for the second side. And this time, bring the right knee forward in space, right foot over to the left, and then the left knee behind it, left foot over to the right. And again, you'll make yourself your seat with your props. We're not symmetrical side to side, so I would suggest starting with 2 blocks unless you really know your body in this shape. So starting off with 2, and then only if that feels okay, maybe exploring 1 or none. And take a moment to really settle the hips here, rebound the spine, soften the shoulders, rest the hands wherever feels comfortable. If you need to adjust anything else, maybe this side you do need that block between the knees or you do need to extend the left leg, go for it. All right. If you do so on the first side, then perhaps thinking about a fold over the legs. And if this side it doesn't work, that's not the end of the world. Just skip it. You can stay upright. If the bottom leg is extended, it might put a lot of pressure on that knee, so you might choose to use a prop underneath there instead of maybe in front. And start to walk the hands forward. Maybe you're lowering elbows or using the bolster differently. Something for the forehead if you have a block free. Settle into your pain-free expression. Find your breath. Then slowly lifting yourself up if you're in the fold. You can help the right leg off and then the left. moving off of your block if you're on one, and then see what feels good here. Maybe the windshield wiper, maybe something else. Awesome. And then your hard blocks you can put down to either side of the mat just in case you need them later. Or actually, one can stay near the top of the mat. And then swing the legs around, and we'll come to lie down on the belly. Have your bolster across the top of the mat so that we can set up for Sphinx pose, a supported one here. So lowering the pelvis down, and then see where you want the bolster. You can have it kind of more under the armpits, or you can have it a little bit closer in, more under the chest. So depending on how much of a back bend you want here. Take your time to adjust anything else. Give yourself clear space. And again, you might choose a block nearby to support the forehead if you choose to let it hang heavy. And you can also keep it upright the whole time. Make sure it's a pain-free expression here. Make sure the low back feels happy. Maybe give the hips a little sway side to side just to let them settle in. Maybe the same with the heels. And so the head can hang down, it can be upright. You could even keep the gaze lifted, be in your expression of the shape, and settle in. All right. Flutter open the eyes if they're closed, and we'll head out of the pose. You can slide your bolster forward, lower the chest down to the floor, maybe stack the forehead onto your palms, and give the hips a little rock side to side to release. And you can stay here for as long as you need, and when you're ready, flip yourself onto your back. And then we'll set up for a twist here. So have your hard blocks on either side. You could also use your bolster for this. And scoot the hips over towards the left, extend the right leg long down the mat, and then guide that left knee across the body, and maybe you're bringing it to your hard block for support. And then from here, option as well to bend the right knee, and maybe you're catching hold of that right foot. Right hand can stay at the left knee. If you like to bring your gaze down towards the left, then go for it. And if the left shoulder isn't connecting to the floor, feel free to slide a soft block underneath. It might feel better to have it be supported. If there's anything else that needs to change in your shape, then go for it. And once you're ready, find your stillness. Gently release the right foot if you have it. You can let that re-extend and then slowly unravel the hips back to the floor. We'll set up for the second side straight away, so you can take the hips over towards the right now, extend the left leg long down the mat, and then with the left hand, guide the right knee across the body to land on its prop or wherever feels comfortable. And if you did so on the first side, then this side, bend that left knee, catch it with the right hand. Again, maybe a prop underneath the right shoulder, maybe the gaze turns down towards the right. Find your expression here, even if it needs to look a little different from the first, or if you need to use your props differently. Gently release the left foot, bring the head to center, and unravel the right leg back down. Hips to midline, maybe a gentle windshield wiper side to side just to release anything that came up. Awesome. And then see what shape you want to end in. You could take a traditional Shavasana shape. I'm going to talk through a reclined butterfly using all of your props. So if you'd like to join me for that for Shavasana, then collect your props nearby. And you can set up your soft block about halfway up the mat, the bolster on one side, and then your hard blocks on either side of the mat, kind of towards the other end. Coming to sit up off of your soft block, you can bring the soles of the feet together. You could also keep them in an extended expression, and then slowly lower the spine down onto your bolster. And taking your time to settle yourself in. If you need an extra prop, if you're a little taller, then you might need something for the head, or you can let it float comfortably. Arms can be wherever feel the most comfortable as well. Hard blocks might be useful underneath the thighs or wherever else you like them. Maybe hands to the pelvis if that feels grounding for you. Find your version of the shape, settle into it. And then soften anything you don't need. Let the body get heavy. Just be. Gently deepen the breath to reawaken the body. You can reach down and guide the knees back together. Maybe taking the feet a little wider, pausing with the knees together. And then you can roll off to one side wherever you have the most room. Moving all your props out of the way, you can come back to lying down on the back. One last time, set the feet wide, give yourself a gentle windshield wiper side to side. Awesome. And then roll down onto one side. Wherever you have the most space, take a pause for a couple of breaths. And with the support of the hands, come up to find any comfortable seated position, using any of your props for extra support. And settle the hips, lengthen the spine, soften the shoulders. Maybe collect the hands in at the heart and bow the chin in towards the chest. And thank you for sharing your practice today. Namaste. Thank you for joining me for your yin practice. And my name is Nicholas. If you have any questions, please reach out and enjoy the rest of your day.